Okay, wonderful. We are live. Let me go ahead and see if I can see it on the page so I can put it in the announcement section. Okay, I see it right here. So, hello everyone. My name is Jonna Bateman. I'm also known as Grace. Today we welcome India Andrews Hartman.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, from a mess to living in God's best. So, just before we get started, I know everyone doesn't know, but next week will be the last week before the end of the season. So, May 20th is the end of this season. And if you needed to reschedule because something happened, you will want to do it before that date, or you'll just be moved to the next season. So, let me tell you all what struck me about Miss India Hartman. It was a post that she made on Facebook and on April 7th, 2021. And it says, I remember when I was in adultery. He had a wife, but they left each other alone. No matter the circumstances, he wasn't mine. Dating someone whose heart is reserved for someone else isn't God's plan for you. I finally, after 3 years, walked away, and there came my now husband. Listen, sis, God will never give you someone else's spouse. I don't care what he says or what she says. They are married unless they have legal divorce papers. Oh my gosh. This stuck out to me so much because I personally know people who are praying to God about somebody else's husband.
Oh, Lord, that was me.
Oh, Jesus. It was a lot of us. But constantly praying to God about somebody else's husband. First, India, you are married now, correct?
Yes, I've been married since March the 4th, 2017. So 4 years.
Okay,
We've been married 4
great.
years.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you have 3 bonus children.
Yes, I have 3 bonus. Yes, ma'am. I have a 9-year-old boy, and 2 girls. One is 12, one is 14.
Okay, and do you all want any children together?
We do. We have lost one child. We lost to a miscarriage in
Wow.
September the 4th, 2019. And then we lost 2 chemicals as well since then. I just haven't put it on Facebook. I don't do all
When you
that.
say chemical, what is that?
So a chemical basically means that it doesn't even get the chance to fully form. So the
Okay.
pregnancy test detected it early on
Mm-hmm.
directly, but it didn't even get to like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or anything like that. It released itself, and most women have had chemicals. They just think it's a late pregnancy. I mean, a late
Late
cycle.
cycle.
Yes, because I don't. So when you know your body,
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a late cycle. And
Right.
when my calendar, my P tracker says it's coming on the 6th, like it did this month,
Right.
it comes on the 6th. Now I give my body about 3 to 4 days after and before because hormones change and your body,
Yeah.
things happen. But no, at that time, it was 10 days late. And then I got a positive test, and then but then like 2 days later, I was bleeding. And then I went to the hospital, and it was detected negative at that moment. So it kind of been basically they consider that like a chemical,
Okay.
and everything. So yes, so I had a chemical then.
Wow, it's so interesting that you said that. I'm currently expecting, and I know some of my other friends who were expecting at points, and you know, just the whole process of being pregnant in the first trimester, it does not feel good at all. It sucks.
It's
You
like
know,
people. I guess you could say, must say, it best people want you to be excited, and you can
yeah,
definitely be
yeah, you
excited
can.
when you're used to regular. When you're used to regular pregnancies, definitely be excited. But like for the
Right.
people on my end of the stick, it isn't exciting. It's anxiety.
Right. Right. So you're like, you excited? I'm not
But
excited about
congratulations.
pain. Thank you. So, you know, the symptoms, I'm not excited about that. If I could just be pregnant and, you know, just be pregnant and hey, and I don't even know it, you know, I'm grateful for that. But anyway, so when you mentioned the miscarriage, I was thinking about my friend earlier who, you know, just go through all of that different, those different hormones, those changes with your body, how you don't feel good, and just to do all that and lose the baby. like, how does that make you feel about trying again, or when people even ask you about, having children with your husband? How does that make you feel?
Well, the first thing is I get that question a lot.
Okay.
I get that question to people that say y'all don't even want a baby, instead of saying, "Hey, yeah, that is the way that people come off." Because
Wow.
you have seen me married on social media. Of course, anybody that kind of reads my social media page will personally know that I've lost kids because I advocate for it.
Mm-hmm.
However, for people that really don't see a lot, they may say, "Y'all don't want no kids," and I
Mm-hmm.
have to, and I don't mind at all saying, "Hey, I've lost a total of 5." Including the chemicals or whatever. Yes. So the first set,
Wow.
yeah. So the first set was twins, and when I
Oh
was
my God.
21, and then I had the one when I got married, and then I had the 2 chemicals. So
Wow.
so basically, when people say that, I say, hey, I did get pregnant, but I lost. And somebody literally just asked me on last weekend, on my birthday, on everything, because they haven't seen me in a while. And I was at a birthday party. And so they were like, hey, you and your husband don't want kids. And I was like, no, not right now. I said, well, I didn't say no, not right now. I just said, we've already tried right now. Right now, I'm honestly I tell people I'm just chilling. So,
Yeah.
and so, I mean, you asked me, how does it feel? What now? How does it feel to
Just
kind
like,
of?
how does it feel when people are asking you about that? No, and well, I had a miscarriage, but people are just kind of asking you that, maybe in an insensitive way. Of course, they wouldn't know, but how does it make you feel about answering that question? How does it make you feel about wanting to have more children? Like, how does it make you feel? When I say wanting, I mean, like, you're like, should I try? I'm scared. What if it don't work this time? Like, how do you honestly
I
feel?
have been like that in the past. Now I'm a little bit more confident to
Mhm.
my decision of telling people
Mhm.
and everything, but I did go through a step and a process about maybe 2 months ago when I just was like, you know what, let me stop and let me figure out if there's something wrong with my body. Most women automatically go to the doctor, see if why they've lost kids, and see, they go see if they got lupus or if they got PCOS or if they got endometriosis or anything like that. For
Mhm.
me, the doctors were just like, oh, okay, you lost them. They didn't care. So I took it upon myself to advocate for myself for a month just
Mhm.
to see what could I do? What could India do? And
Right.
so to make sure that it wasn't anything I personally needed to do in this situation,
Mhm.
and everything. And so I took time out to go to the doctor. She took tests, lupus, everything came back clear.
Mhm.
Um, and it then I came back with they did a pelvic exam or
Mhm.
whatever, and so it did come back that I had fibroids. And
Yeah.
so then the doctor set me up a test. She said, I don't think you need to go to a reproductive specialist. I think you just need to go to the OBGYN. I'm sending
Mhm.
you a referral. So I went to the referral. The man didn't have bedside manners. He sucked.
He didn't have bedside manners.
Yeah, like he was rude, and he just really
Oh.
didn't know how to give information,
Mhm.
and everything. And so basically once we were in that conversation, me and him, he was like, well, do you want to have kids? And so he asked me, and I was like, yeah, I plan on it. And he's like, well, we're
Right.
not going to talk about that today. Like the way he came off, and I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? And so he started talking the doctor talk, the big words. I'm like, can you please simplify, what does this all mean? So basically
Right.
he was saying that I didn't need, they were basically the size of like this big or whatever. He said they weren't big enough to remove, and they were not the cause of basically being able to birth the child or losing children. He feels
Mhm.
like if I'm not having painful cycles, and if I not only painful cycles, but if I wasn't even having back pain or anything like that, then he just thought, hey, you shouldn't bother him.
Yeah.
So at this time, I was at a point when he came at me, it made me feel inadequate at one moment, the way he came at me and stuff like that,
Mhm.
because he was just like 95% of African American, like that. And I'm like, I hate statistics, by the
Yeah.
way, everyone.
Not
So it's like,
personal. Yeah.
don't come at me like that. I'm India. Don't count me as a statistic,
Right.
and everything. And so, he was just like, I said, well, I'd like to know more about, basically wanted to have a child. And so he was like, we'll have to talk about that another day. So it made me feel like he just pushed me off. So what I did was I
Mhm.
left there. I had kind of spiraled down. People don't know like if I have bad moments, really, because I don't really show them a lot. Only
Yeah.
to my small circle I may say, hey, I'm having a bad day, or hey, so I found myself kind of traveling down into a road of depression. And this is not too long ago. And so once I started traveling out to that road of depression, I found myself saying, you know what? I can't go down this road. Holy Spirit basically dealt with me. It was like, get back to work on what you knew you needed to do, and everything. So I basically released myself from trying to conceive, trying to put my hands on it. I released my hands back out. I let it back go. I was like, when I try to take a hold of it, because people making me feel bad because I wasn't going to the doctor to see what was wrong, and stuff. So basically I was like, okay, so I took my hands back off of it because I was busy. But I took time out. But what I found out when I took time out to really try to figure things out on my own, it didn't make things better by trying to figure it out. It made it worse. So basically, when people ask, I'm very confident in telling them now. We have 3. And basically, I'm now become like a full-time mom because they're now like with us Sunday to Thursday. So they're in the house, they're active. My schedule is filled with their stuff as well. And then our son will be here for the summer. So in reality, now when I tell people, I don't even have time to have kids. I'm busy. I'm always out of town. I'm traveling. And so I'm really going to just enjoy my life. And if Holy Spirit, God wants to give me a baby in that midst, I'm doing everything possible to conceive. Just go forward, and everything. So that's basically how I respond to it now. And now I just help other women.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate you saying that. I mean, I have fibroids, uterine fibroids, and it does affect people differently. The doctors don't be understanding, like, I don't want to say don't be understanding because that's not even the right way to say it, but they don't understand or did not understand how I was able to even have a vaginal birth with my first son. And, of course, when I go to the new doctor now, he's, has doubts if I'll be able to conceive, but I don't have doubts. God doesn't have doubts, just because of the size of my fibroid. It's huge. It's bigger than the baby. It's pretty big, but the baby's gonna push it out the way. I mean, that's what happens. But anyway,
and
so
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've actually read that. How do you get rid of it? It was like, have a baby. I was like, but the doctor was like, it's not stopping you from getting pregnant. I do feel like it does stop me in a way because of the hormones offsetting it. But I'll probably get back to it maybe next year sometime.
Yeah. When I say the baby push out the way, it doesn't make it shrink. So the estrogen actually makes it grow while you're pregnant. But the baby is going to end up taking over, meaning, well, in my case, not surviving, but living, because it's like I have dominion here. That's kind of what I have dominion here. You're second place. So I'm going to be living here. And then when I leave, you can do what you do. But this is where I'm living at the moment. But anyway, so let's that was we have, see, the conversation is going right. Yeah. So I want us to get to from a mess, right? How did you meet the man who you were in a 3-year adulterous relationship with? How did you meet him?
Facebook. Basically with social media. It was Facebook, it was social media, and everything. And then I literally just met him. When I say I had just really, y'all know how you say you fresh saved. I had really was like a babe and crazy.
Yeah.
So I was really like, how you get that newness. Yeah. And I met him. And he's still an amazing guy. No, doesn't discount that. And everything. And then so when I met him, we went out to eat, different things like that, and then he sat me down and then he told me. So he didn't, it wasn't hid or anything. I knew from the beginning. I had the choice, but I cared more about his heart more so than the legal paperwork that had to do with it, because he was just like, hey, she's threatening my kids, and he did put her on the phone and she did threaten the kids and stuff. So it was in a situation, but it was in a situation that was a little bit too long. 3 years, and stuff. And so that's basically how I ended up meeting him. And then we basically spent time together. And then we end up, I guess, being in a relationship, because he'd been in a relationship with a married man, but you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, you can actually be in a relationship. It's just an adulterous relationship, right?
Right.
So in that relationship, did you ever continue to ask him, like, when are you going to get a divorce?
I paid for it.
You even paid for it. So when you paid for it, what was the excuse of him not proceeding?
Well, what happened is we actually, to to the point he said he didn't have the funds, and so I offered. I wasn't broke, so I offered the funds for the divorce, and so we went together to the lawyer. And it's funny now, y'all, because literally, I remember, and the guy was like, "This is who you divorcing from?" No, he was like, "No, this is my girlfriend at the moment, or whatever." And so he was like, "Okay, just making sure," you know.
Okay, yeah.
And so then it was more so like when we went down there, he paid. She said she'll sign the papers. It was supposed to be that type of divorce, easy, get it over with. They have a child, or whatever in the picture. But when she got the papers and stuff like that, she didn't sign. And so then it become childishness. She was younger, way younger, and stuff, and it became playing games. I'm not gonna sign papers, such and such, such and such. So it became a waiting game and a frustrating game and different things like that. Yes.
Okay, so he wanted to get a divorce, but
He did want one, but she was playing around with it. But the more the push seemed like more that I was pushing for the divorce more than he was at one point, at a couple points, because it was just so much. So it wasn't the fact that he was trying to get back with her, because even after me and him broke up, then his divorce came, he actually married someone else, totally separate than going back to her. So it was just a caught up type situation. And everything. And a lot of times that I thought, and it's like, dang, am I really stopping him from really being with his wife? You get what I'm saying? Like, people break up, people separate, then they get back together. It happens all the time. You see people divorce and then they even get remarried, So, I'm all the way, and I'm in the midst of this and everything. So definitely.
Did you find yourself wanting to actually talk to the wife at the time and figure out what was going on?
No, because she came to me a lot of times.
Really?
Yes. It was just drama. It was so much drama. She would come to me and tell me, how do I say I'm saved, but I'm sleeping with somebody else, man? She was like, she was just threatening me, and it was just so much drama with her and stuff like that. And then he'll go back off on her. And such and such. I really didn't have to deal with her too much, but it definitely was a lot of drama. And then at one point we were standing around the corner from each other, like literally like the street around the corner, like we were in a circle. So imagine like the circle right around the corner at one point, and different things like that. So, it was a lot of drama with her. It wasn't her trying to figure out like why. It wasn't that. It was more so just drama. It was a lot of drama.
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of internal demonic stuff. I just tried suicide twice because I feel like I was stuck. And stuff. Yes, I got the police called on me, the ambulance, they checked on me, and different things like that. It's because I was so stuck. And I wouldn't say that I wasn't reminded daily that I wasn't supposed to be in a situation, because every time I woke up, Holy Spirit was like, this ain't your husband. But it was me fighting like, I love him. I love him.
Right.
And I had to learn that love does not trump what God says, just because you love someone doesn't mean that you're supposed to be in a relationship.
Right.
That's definitely.
So a lot of times, did you feel justified, like especially when he would take up for you?
I felt justified, number one, because I wasn't having sex with him. That was the first justification. And so I thought that just because I was not actually fornicating or actually having sex, that it wasn't considered adultery. But even the heart of a man was considered adultery. And I learned that after the fact, when a sister came to me and said, India, I want to let you know you're still in adultery. So I thought that just because I was staying with him and not sleeping with him, that I wasn't in adultery. And later, of course, learning, now I have a lot of wisdom. Yes, you were in love with a married man. In the heart, so is a man, so is he. A man thinking. So I was still, So that's one way I feel justified. Number two, I feel justified because I was his profile picture. No one knew that he was married except for like internal friends and different things like that. I was the profile picture on his page. I was all over his page. We took pictures together. He actually even proposed to me on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana, in front of thousands of people. So you're thinking like I am the one, and different things like that.
Yeah. Wow. So in the heart of a man, I mean, I'm just thinking of how so many ways we can be deceived. Just, well, he proposed to me, he's taken up for me. He's, in her face, he's saying he doesn't want, he's saying he doesn't want his wife. It's really her. She's the reason the divorce is, So that still, it doesn't matter if it's her when she, so when she called you or said that you were sleeping with someone else's husband, are you saying that in those 3 years you all were together that you all didn't have intercourse not one time?
Not until the last year.
Mm-hmm.
The last year, maybe the last 7 to 8 months we did. At that point I gave up on waiting and I just did whatever. At that point
Mm-hmm.
I was just like whatever, and I just kind of gave up on the waiting and stuff, and we just had sex. Yes.
Right. So within those 2 years, you all were living together?
So the first part of the time we weren't. I had my own apartment and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And then I needed to move out of my apartment and I actually found a home. But he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to stay there as well. And one of the main reasons so he can get custody of his daughter, of his kids, and
Okay.
everything. So he felt that if the courts knew that he would stay in a stable home, then
Mm-hmm.
he have more chances of becoming stable. However, I told myself and I told him
Mm-hmm.
that I would not move to another place with the divorce not being final or at least
Mm-hmm.
being in the making, and I still chose to move into a home.
Okay. So his kid, how many children did he have?
So with her, he had a son. We knew for exactly, and when I met, the son was still a baby, an arm baby or whatever,
Wow. Uh-huh.
and everything. And so then it was a daughter. So found out later that the daughter really wasn't his, but he took care of her, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of drama concerning that situation. So in
Mm.
reality, the son was officially his.
Okay, but the daughter, is that another way you felt justified because she was out doing things with other?
I
Uh,
did because she had a boyfriend too. She had a
oh
boyfriend.
wow,
She had a
yeah.
guy. She had a boyfriend. She was living her life. And she had her own. She on her own man too. So it was like,
Wow.
you have a man, we're a man. Okay, what's holding us up? We can get
Mhm.
together. And different things like that.
So before we move into the final straw, did you ever help take care of his kids?
No.
Okay, no. So what was the final straw that made you say, you know what? After 3 years of us doing this, and you finally became intimate with him. What made you stop wanting to be intimate? What made you stop wanting to live together? Like, I mean, what happened?
So it was a lot. Domestic violence, number one.
Oh, okay.
It verbal abuse was
Mm-hmm.
another one. It was more so like he called me a demon, he called me the devil. He said yeah, it was a little bit more demonic. And
Mm-hmm.
so that demonic and more evil side started more to come out. And so
Mm-hmm.
then he was on medication.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then my mom at one point had to move in with us. And so during this long she had to move in with us, he basically told me in front of my mom that he would kill me. And I feel if you
Whoa.
have any guts to tell me in front of the woman that
Yeah.
birthed me that you would kill me, then I'm leaving. So
Yeah.
I basically started to plan to leave. I had to plan to leave because my mom was there. And I had another girl actually there. She was pregnant and she needed a place to stay at the time. So she actually had started to stay with us. And I said, if it wasn't for her, my mom, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Like I was frustrated with figuring out like why my mama gotta come stay with me. And I was frustrated because why this girl, I loved the girl as far as with a friend or whatever. And I really knew her on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, but she really needed a place to stay. And I was like, why does she have to stay with me? Like, and stuff like that. But now, she needed to be there because if
Mm-hmm.
not, if I had been there alone, something more bad would have happened.
Yeah.
And things. And so what made me really leave is that. Not only that, just wanting a man that respected who I loved, which was God.
Right. Right. So he
And
wasn't a
so
man of God.
no. And
Okay.
so and he didn't believe in Jesus. That was another thing.
Ooh.
He was
Okay.
of a different religion. If he
Mm-hmm.
wants to go that way, that's fine. And
Mm-hmm.
everything. He definitely was a different religion.
Mm-hmm.
So that as well. Somebody, and it was people in my corner that kind of come hit me with that. Like even the pastor I was at the church with at the time, you sleep in the bed with somebody that's not your husband, like the
Mm-hmm.
preaching, because I didn't stay away from church. I didn't stay
So it
away from
didn't
the word of
impact.
God.
It didn't really impact your relationship with God. That relationship.
I say that's a good question. I feel like I was more so covered a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I never, at one point, I feel like, how they say that God will turn you over to a reprobate mind. At
Mm-hmm.
one point, I was like, I don't want to be there because I'm literally waking up every morning. God is saying, this is not your husband. So when are you going to
Okay.
listen? You get what I
Yeah.
mean? So at
Uh-huh.
this point, that's when my mind became double-minded. I became double-minded, and I started dealing with a whole bunch of spirit and demonic things in my mind, and I started fighting things, and that's what suicide came in at. Anxiety and then suicide. I would literally have anxiety attacks because I'm in this situation and not knowing what to do. And so after the anxiety, then it was suicide, and then it was different things. So like I said, not only that, it was a lot of instances where I had to call the police twice, or whatever, and different things like that, because he pulled out a gun, you know. Wow. Then I had to try to, then I started tracking, you know, the many times that whatever he did, and I would track it or whatever. I didn't report him, I tracked it or whatever. They asked me, did I want to report? But I was that person, I didn't do it. But I definitely reported it. So if they ever call back, they know this many calls been to this household, blah, blah, blah. So basically, wow. But yeah, it was a lot into it, to be honest with you. And so I feel like the more long I stayed in it, the more I found out the other side of him. Like he was a sweetheart. Everybody saw this, but they didn't see the other side. Like, you know, it was, I guess do they call it narcissistic? Is that the word?
Narcissistic. I believe so. I believe so. You know, so many people I've interviewed, they've had their definitions of narcissistic. But I believe that might be the word.
All right. But I never really defined it or whatever. So it was the fact that I wanted a husband that loved Jesus, and I wanted a husband that I did not have to teach, and I wanted a husband that was able to lead me. And then I also did Love Speaks, which is my organization, and I also wanted to start a male version, and therefore I needed someone to properly lead it. And so when I started, and I couldn't just get any man, because at this point he's like, no, you're not talking to no guys and stuff like that. So you know, at this point I'm like, okay, God. So yeah, so wanting to know the future for my life and knowing where I wanted to be and where I want to go and who I knew God had called me to be at that point or whatever, I knew that in that relationship I could not produce that. It wouldn't produce that at all. So once I knew that relationship would not produce the man that I really want, the man that I really want to marry, you can love somebody you want, but you cannot really just think about right now. You have to think about your whole future, you know, and everything. So definitely.
Yeah, so just, I mean, questions keep popping up, but when you say double-minded, you were double-minded. What, give me some examples of the double-mindedness you experienced.
So one minute I was like, he was my husband, I know it, I want to be here, we just gonna come. And then the next minute it was like, no, you know better than this, you know. And it was like I was going to and fro, and then it says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I was unstable at this point in my mind. That's where the anxiety came from. So it was just thinking, okay, I know he loves me, and that's why I kept telling myself, I know he loves me, I know he loves me, and stuff. And I kept telling myself that. And so, and then, you know, then next one I'm like, but he doesn't even love the fact that I praise dance at church. He doesn't even, he went to church, but he only went to support me. Then he stopped going to church. And I want a man that likes, you know, that's a kingdom, that's in the kingdom and different things like that. So it was so much that I knew that I wanted in a husband, but it was not in him.
It wasn't in him. So did you tell your friends about these issues, and what would they say?
So my friends did not know 100% everything. My close friends did know that he was married. They didn't know that. They wasn't egging me on, but they also wasn't telling me that they're not gonna be my friend. They was just like there for me, you know, and different things like that. My best friend, after I kind of left, she was like, well, you know, date a married man. Like, she finally said it. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that the whole time? Like, you know, stuff like that. And then I had another sister, which me and her don't talk as much now, but she was like, sis, I want to tell you something. I was like, what? She was like, I want to tell you that you're in adultery. She just flat out told me, and I said, yeah. And then, you know, she told me the truth. And then there was other friends that really egged our relationship on, knew the situation. But when we broke up, there was a lot of drama concerning it and stuff. And I had to let them go because they was in the midst of all that stuff. So leaving him alone, I left a lot of other people too. With him. I had to leave all of them.
Yeah, got you. So what brings us to where you are now? After you left that relationship, how long did it take you to find your husband? Or your husband find you? I don't know how that happened.
Girl, like, okay, we broke up and we still had a house together, remember? So We were renting. So his aunt was a co-signer to the house. So basically his aunt had to I had to text her. I said, hey, I said, your nephew, he's been highly, I said, we broke up. I said, I know the house is in your name, or whatever with ours. And I said, and he's acting crazy. I just want to let you know ahead of time. So he did some damage to the house too. And I sent her pictures. I said, but I'm going to leave or whatever. And I said, I'm going to send the renters a message to them so I can leave. And I know this is in your name. I don't want to ruin your credit. So I'm going to let you know. And so she was like, baby, do whatever you have to do. At this moment, that's how it was. And stuff. So I ended up the girl that was staying with me at the time had a car. So she would take me around and find apartments and different things like that. And so my credit score was not the best. And then my mama's wasn't either at that point. And so I was like, Lord, I got the money. Money was never an issue. It was just trying to get into a nice place because I don't want to stay anywhere. So it was one apartment, approved me, and everything. And then I text him because at this point he had moved out. And I don't know who he was staying with. And I said, hey, when I was like, hey, when I leave, you can come and get this and this and this. And so I did a play moment. I put the picture of me and him on the floor that we took. And I left it. I'm very bad, but I left it in the middle of the floor with nothing in the apartment. Nothing. The only thing he had to come and get is like a TV stand that his auntie gave us. And I didn't want it. Everything else, he really didn't have nothing. I had everything in the house. So and so I left it there on the floor. And so I told my uncles I need help moving. My uncles moved, helped me move out, and different things like that. And then like that same week I received a message from my now husband and was like, hey, I saw you put on Facebook that you needed a male mentor to help start the male organization of your organization. I want to know, can I interview for that position? And I'm like, who is this dude writing me? He was like, hey, give me a call sometime. It was this guy with a Comcast uniform on. And I'm like, I know him from school, which I did, or whatever. He was a JRTC. I said, I guess I'd give him a call. And so we started talking or whatever. And we started talking about the organization, of course, and everything. And then he was like, hey, let's have a meeting. And we did it at Hooters. And then we called other males to come help. I didn't have a car at the time. So he came and picked me up. We're more so just friends. And so he picked me up and stuff like that. And then we end up going there. And then we was watching, he came to my house. He was always there for me, I guess you could say. Like he would go and put the chairs up and stuff for the youth and stuff at the events. He was always there. He was like, you need me to take you to the store. When his car broke down, he got his mama to take me. Like, mama, I need you to do this for her. And stuff. I was on insulin and stuff like that. So he's like, hey, I need you to take you to get her insulin. He would pay for my insulin. So I was like, okay, my insulin. Okay. And so basically, to get from there to here, eventually found out he liked me. I didn't know it. And I didn't question him or say too much or anything. I know he was a man of God. And then we started he come to Bible study or whatever, at my church at that time. And so, so basically once we did that, I found out he liked me. He finally told me, and then we started and he asked me, will I date him? And I said no. I told him I wasn't cool. And I kept pushing him away. I pushed him away a lot. He wouldn't go nowhere. So then I was like, I was like, okay. I said, who is he? At this point, what do you want me to do with him? Like, like it's my husband, because this man doing all this other stuff. And Holy Spirit said, and it was just a peace in my heart. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. So I finally said, you know what? I'll date you. And after dating him, we went on a fast together with my church. In the beginning of the year, you do a fast. And then all I know is like maybe 2 weeks after the fast, he proposes to me.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow. Okay. And so basically fast forward, now we're married 4 years later.
Wow. I love that story.
Yeah. So we still doing ministry together. You guys see my shirt. I had a meeting before that. We had to go to a meeting. We've been doing ministry ever since.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna ask about that. I mean, it took you had to leave that relationship in order to get what you believe God had for you. And it didn't even take that long to come.
It didn't at all. It was like it was just waiting there for you. It was like dangling, like India. But I had I had to release that out of me. And then even he came while I wasn't healed, but he stayed
Mm-hmm.
there
Yeah.
and basically stayed there until I healed. And I told him the truth, like, I'm not healed, I'm not over him. And he was
Wow.
like, this is how you get over someone. You block them, you get rid of this and that. And at first I was like, you just want me and you such and such. No, he was like, no, this is really how you get over someone. Like, you can't say that you want to heal from, him, and you're still accepting the phone calls.
Yeah,
Because he
right.
did try to call after and get back with me even after the fact.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is so long. I mean, it's so much, right? It's a book.
Yes, it's
And
good. Don't say
no,
that.
I mean, it's a book. No.
It
When I say
is.
it's a book, I mean, it's too much for us to talk about in this one setting, even though it's really good. I mean, this is probably one of the most authentic conversations I've had in a while. And I really appreciate you for that. But before we leave, I do want you to speak on your organization. I see you started that organization before you got married. What is it really about? It's called Love Speaks.
So yes, Love Speak stands for
Mm-hmm.
letting our voices emerge,
Mm-hmm.
while spiritually providing education and knowledge. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're a group of women and men that basically want to help the youth. Basically, we want to renew, reconstruct, and revise the minds of our youth. So basically, what we do is we implement consistent-based programs within the community to create the new norm. So we have programs such as right now we have a natural hair program that we're fixing to do for girls and boys. We have a cooking program. We have a project identity to teach youth about their identity, and we have other events that we do in the community. But that's some of the major events that we do. And yes, I started that one in 2012.
Wow. And you started that, and his vision was kind of the same as yours.
Right, but he was just for the males. So he just came in and we just kind of came
Mhm.
together.
And it kind of blew up from there. Is there any way that you help women of who are older?
Yes, I actually now not
Mhm.
only helping women with Mothers of Angels, I help them heal from child loss and infertility. That's my other
Okay.
organization.
Mhm.
I also now mentor youth, young adults, and adults now. And
Okay.
everything. So more so my help will help women heal from childhood trauma, helping them from
Mhm.
mother issues, daddy issues,
Mhm.
helping them heal from helping them get out of situations. Like on that post I said, if you need help getting out of adultery, inbox me. I'm not judging you. Nobody
Yeah.
judged me. Or whatever. The only thing that found me out was my own sin. So,
Okay.
and everything. So, basically, I help other women. If you just a person inbox me and want help, I help. If I post something on social media, I have just really started getting into the fact of helping other women that are older, and
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
And fully walking, I would say, into my calling of helping other people too, as far as with older. If a
Mhm.
woman just needs help getting through certain situations, or they don't know, like I told my husband literally before this meeting, we had to get some food, and we were sitting down. I said, if you can teach anything to anybody, that was how to pursue a woman
Okay.
and anything, because he did not leave me. Like, and I
Right.
talk about that now because I help women deal with rejection and stuff too, because
Mhm.
and stuff, because a lot of us stay in relationships because we have been rejected by everybody else, so we think he loves me.
Mhm.
That's, you see that I grabbed onto that,
Yeah.
or whatever, because my dad left me, my mom left me, like, all this other
Mhm.
stuff. But when you
Mhm.
heal from it, you understand there's a lot of other people in your life that will not leave you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he didn't drop me. There's a lot of
Mhm.
people in our lives that will literally drop us. Hey, I want to deal with
Mhm.
her. No, boom, they gone. But one
Right.
thing I definitely that made me literally stick to it. That's why I help other women, is understanding of
Mhm.
you don't have to go shoot your shot at a man. I don't even believe in that. I'm sorry for people that believe
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, do I believe in communicating? Boy, of course. Texting him sometimes, yes, of course. But I'm not fixing to pursue a relationship with you because you're doing all this pursuing. I'm not going to be the one to fully pursue, but I definitely will reciprocate what you're doing.
Right. Gotcha. And where is it? Because I'm going to put it in the comments. Where can people find you if they want to connect?
Actually, my Facebook page, India Andrews Hartman.
Okay. Just your Facebook page. Do you have a
Yeah,
website
I
or is the
respond to
website?
Messenger.
Okay.
Um,
So you're real good with Messenger.
I'm really good with Messenger. I respond. If I don't respond, I'm probably asleep. But I respond to all my messages, and everything. If they want to personally email me, which I'm fixing to make an email, really dealing with God been dealing with me, because I'm like, I don't want to do ministry, and whatever. But India Marie Ministries, I am supposed to come up with. He's pushing me. So I actually am going to create an email for ministry for you. If you
Okay.
just got stuff you want to just email me and just talk to me, I'll just respond back to you and talk to you, pray with
Mm-hmm.
you through situations that you may be dealing with. I dealt with more than adultery. I dealt with not having a dad. I dealt with a
Mm-hmm.
mom that was on crack cocaine in the crack
Oh,
epidemic.
wow.
So I've dealt with a lot of situations directly. I'm a granny's girl. I've dealt with a lot of
Okay.
stuff. So definitely.
Okay. So your grandmother raised you.
Yes, I'm a granny's baby.
Okay. Wow, that's what
Yeah,
that
my mother's
means.
alive now, and she is fully like she's here now. But we don't have a mother daughter connection. It's a hey, how
Mm-hmm.
you doing? I love you. I'll do for you, whatever. But it's not like oh, let me give like 50 million Mother's Day gifts. I did buy Mother's Day, of course, but it's not that bond. It's not the connection, and stuff. So
Wow.
definitely.
Wow.
So yeah, we have to talk
Very
more.
interesting. We do. We absolutely have to talk more. India Andrews Hartman, thank you so much for being an amazing guest, sharing your wonderful testimony. I mean, this is the start of something really new for you, sharing this, and you shared a lot, and we really appreciate you for that. If anyone is interested in getting in contact with India, I listed her Facebook name down in the comments. You can email her at the was it
And you
ministry?
can do india.andrews@outlook.com. It's my regular
Okay.
email.
Right. You can contact her there. And like I said, next week is the last week of the season. I'll update you with new shows coming out then. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.